going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Here at Fields & Brown Barbershop, legacy means a lot. We're trying to fill big shoes left by my two uncles and my grandfather, where every haircut came with conversation and every customer left a little taller than when they walked in. The barbershop is about pride. It's about knowing your barber knows your name and your story. Come see us at Fields & Brown Barbershop, where tradition never goes out of style. 3 generations, 1 legacy, your barbershop.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
Fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you, because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen, because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
For the best meal from south of the border, head to Cocina Real and Puente Grande for lunch and dinner. With a wide array of mouth-watering entrees, there's something for everyone on the menu. And you can't forget the cheese dip. They'll treat you like family, and you'll never leave hungry. Make Cocina Real Mexican Restaurant and Puente Grande Mexican Restaurant your choice for authentic cuisine, located in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretto, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Welcome to Employee Resources Credit Union, where you're more than just a number, you're family. We provide financial solutions that rise above those of traditional banks. With roots stretching back to 1964, we've served 4 generations during constant industry changes. We're known for our low fees and incredible rates. Join us and experience the credit union difference. ERCU, not for profit, for service.
Comprehensive care with a compassionate touch. That will always be the guarantee at Encompass Healthcare in Etheridge, Tennessee. Whether you're looking for primary or urgent care, x-ray services, or weight loss treatments, the team at Encompass is equipped to serve your needs today. The doors are open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5 and from 8 to noon on Fridays. Make an appointment with providers Kendra Brown, Tori Cox, or Ellie Brown today. That's Encompass Healthcare, located on Highway 43 North in Etheridge, next door to Chapman Tire.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to X Sports Today. AJ Good with Michael Marks and Taylor Plott. And guys, it's our week 2 football for college football, week 1 for the NFL. Our preview show here on Thursdays. NFL kicks off tonight. We got the Eagles and the Cowboys. Probably going to be a bloodbath, but we're going to talk about it anyways. But we are fully in the football season. It's week 3 for high school football. It's week 2 for college football, and now it's the first week of the NFL.
Yeah, man, we got all 3 levels going, and I'm not a big NFL guy, but we're around here doing high school games. We're around here doing college games, watching college football. It's just so exciting when you have everything back because, I mean, you get football technically, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You get it all weekend, and then there's the Thursday and the Mondays and the Tuesdays and whatnot. But, I mean, almost at this point, we'll have every football game every day until, like, January. Yeah. So it's just really exciting.
Yep, we finally gotten to the point to where you're going to have football every single week. And, yes, you might have some days where it's like, you get your Thursday and Friday matchups. You obviously got Thursday night football, and then Saturday and Sunday is just jam-packed with a bunch of games. I know we finally flipped the calendar into September, and now it's just that kind of realization that it is football season. It is now getting into fall, and it's the best time of year.
And let's get right into that NFL slate. We got 2 weekday games. We have a Thursday and a Friday. The Thursday is the Cowboys and the Eagles, and the Friday is Kansas City of the Chargers in Brazil. So 2 games. I mean, all these NFL games you can keep your eye on, but those 2 you really got to keep your eye on.
Yeah, I read some stuff about this game in Sao Paulo. It's really interesting. It's the first NFL game that is streamed exclusively on YouTube, so it's free. I mean, this is probably the only time. It's surprising to find the NFL doing anything for free, but I think this is really cool because obviously it's in Brazil because they're trying to expand the game worldwide. I mean, they've sent teams to England. I think maybe they've even done a game in Germany before. I think they've done a game in Mexico City, stuff like that. So I think it's really cool expanding it around and get it on a Friday night. I mean, some people are watching high school football and other things, but typically Friday night, for the most part, you're going to be in watching TV, and what better way to get your NFL season sort of started off with that Friday night game, in with it being a divisional matchup.
Yeah, and especially get home from your high school games, then watch it because you'll probably be second half because it's 7 our time, I think 8 o'clock Eastern. So you'll have plenty of time to catch the second half, which Chiefs Chargers is obviously a better matchup than Cowboys. Unless, I don't know, guys. I'm getting a Mavericks with Luka sneaky suspicion that the Cowboys knew, because Parsons is injured right now. Is there something that they know? I mean, I don't trust Jerry Jones with a potato gun, or let alone to throw a rock from here into the creek next door to us, or the pond next door to us with anything. But do they know something about him that we don't know, that they were willing to trade him away like that?
Well, I think I'd mentioned something the day after the trade or the day the trade had come out that maybe this was something that was like kind of trying to get a locker room, cancer out of there. Right. And now I don't know anything about Micah Parsons personally, but I know that he's from Pennsylvania, went to Penn State, so probably has a slight disdain towards the Cowboys to begin with. I don't think he would have necessarily wanted to sabotage his own career for something like that, but maybe it was a good piece to move out of the way. Because sometimes with these big...
You listen to his podcast, man. There's something about him that isn't exactly team.
I would say that you can tell, like with podcasts and other interactions with the media, when these guys go out there, and you can just tell from the way they interact with the media, whether they are a leader and someone you want to have around or someone that you would want to move kind of away from, and Parsons was definitely kind of teetering that line.
Yeah, I hadn't watched his podcast, but you're not the first one that I've heard say that it's somewhat revealing on who the guy kind of is. And I would agree, if that's truly how it is, then yes, I can see where he could have been a locker room cancer. And it could have easily just been a thing where he is such a good player that they're just like, we need to keep him anyway because he's one of our stars, and we need to have him. And maybe it just got to the point to where they might have realized, maybe it's bad for him to be here, and it has been hurting us, and we just need to take him away. And we'll find out. I don't know. I understand what you're saying is maybe this is kind of like a situation with the Mavericks, and it was Luka. And we'll see how that does. But still, at the end of the day, I don't see how they're going to end up really competing with the Eagles. But what does the rest of the season look like? I figure they start 0-1, but could we be looking several weeks down the road and they're maybe 5-3 or something.
Yeah, I mean, but you look at that division. You got to play the Eagles twice. You got to play the Commanders twice.
And you can almost write that up as 4 losses right there.
Yeah, you may be split with the Giants because we don't really know what the Giants have. They could be better. They could be worse. You got to coach him for his job.
Yeah.
Over there, there's a lot of unknowns, and it's one thing with Parsons when you got NFL legends like Lawrence Taylor and other guys, not just him going, dude, quit podcasting and play the game.
Yeah.
Because everyone calls him a pass rusher. They don't call him an outside linebacker. They call him a pass rusher. Why? Because the 49ers and other physical teams found out you run right at him, you're going to put up 40 points.
Yeah.
And now he's Green Bay's problem, not Dallas's problem. He was asking for best linebacker in the league money, and despite what the national media wants to tell you, he's not the best linebacker in the league.
No.
It's not remotely close. So there's probably a mix of they know something that we don't, and maybe there are some things that we just know and we don't want to admit.
Well, I think the Cowboys kind of looked at what you mentioned there. He's a pass rusher. He cannot defend the run. And, I think we're going to start seeing that a lot more in the NFL nowadays because we've moved to this kind of speed rusher era where every edge rusher is 6'3", 245.
Right.
That's not very big. When you got 340-pound tackles pushing you around, we're not going to see a lot of these guys be good at pass rushing, or defending the run. So I think Micah Parsons wanted top defensive end money, and he wasn't playing like that because usually the best guys at those positions can defend both the run and be a successful pass rusher, and he's only giving you half a job.
Right.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. The thing that is going to be interesting is, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, especially for the stuff that's happened that Dallas had like in the 90s or whatnot, I don't think we've really known a lot about that Dallas locker room as opposed to some of these other teams where, like in Philadelphia, that they've got a really good brother camaraderie going on, and you can see that, and it's talked about. And then I'm trying to think. What's the other team? It's kind of slipped my mind. Anyway, it just feels like the Dallas Cowboys situation. You don't really know what's truly going on behind closed doors in that locker room. Jerry does kind of run a very tight-knit ship.
And
any rumors that do come out,
they don't have guys in the police blotter anymore.
Yeah. Right.
There's the White House, aka, does not exist in Dallas anymore. At least not that we don't know of.
So yeah, who's to say that that was a big problem? And
because most rumors you hear out of Dallas's locker room aren't good things.
Exactly,
it's guys going at each other. It's coaches, and players, separation. Yeah. So it's usually not good things.
It's usually not good things, but it also it's very subtle too. It's not like, okay, we are for sure knowing that this is exactly what's been going on in the locker room. So who knows? But going to his performance, I mean, if he's known just as a pass rusher, well, then why would I even think that you're going to be a top-tier linebacker in the NFL? Because not only do I expect you to be a good pass rusher, but you better be damn good at stopping the run too.
Well, and you look at the team they're playing tonight from their own division.
They're going to run down their throats.
Barkley, I bet say he's probably going to get 20 carries tonight, and the Commanders have a bit of an unorthodox offense, but they run it a lot. It's a lot of stuff between the tackles, especially with the new rookie running back they got. So you want to be able to stop the run in this division, and it's nothing against Parsons. He is doing. I would assume he is going out there to the best of his abilities every Sunday.
Yeah.
But being a talented pass defender or a rush defender is not his forte, and it's just not something that he can do at his size.
Yeah.
And the other game Friday night, the one free on YouTube in Brazil, guys, that's going to be a fun one. That's a big division matchup, one of many that we have, and we can. Oh, bit my tongue.
I saw that. Oh, that hurts.
Man, I'm a hot mess.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I felt like I've gone cross-eyed on you every time I look over at you a couple times. I apologize. I'm not doing that on purpose. Ow.
Anyway, the Chargers and the Chargers and Chiefs. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, the Chargers and the Chiefs going at it Friday. It's two teams that have a little different identities. Kansas City coming into this very confident. I mean, they've made their third straight Super Bowl appearance. Finally lost one. But, LA's in an interesting spot. It's year two under Harbaugh. There's a lot of confidence. You still got a young quarterback in Justin Herbert kind of trying to
He's still struggling over there.
Hurts so bad. Oh, continue on.
But I think it's going to be an interesting quarterback matchups. I don't like looking at quarterback matchups because they're never on the field at the same time. But Mahomes and Herbert are two guys that I look at very much the same way. They are guys that can sling it all over the yard and can run if they need to.
Yeah.
I'm just curious which receiving core is going to show up because we obviously know with Kansas City, no Rashee Rice with the suspension. In LA, they've moved on from Keenan Allen, moved on from Josh Palmer. Some of their guys they had in the wideout game. So I'm going to be curious to see what the Chargers offense looks like. Because with Harbaugh, they're going to try to run the ball at you a lot, right? And they have very good running backs to do that. But also, they're going to be stout defensively, and I'm curious to see how they kind of try to slow down Kansas City. Because while they have Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they're not running up and down the field on you. They're very methodical. I'm curious if LA will be able to get off the field on third downs.
I think we're missing the biggest thing in this entire game. And this could be one of the I don't even know what to think about this. I think what we're missing, the fact is that Travis Kelce is engaged.
I'm wondering if
the first game that he's going to be engaged. What happens? Is this going to be a good Kelce, or is engaged Kelce going to be just crap?
Because I'm really curious because I think he's still on the free agent market in a fantasy league I'm in, and
no one picked him up.
I don't think anybody picked him up. It's an eight-man league.
This is why you should have done the draft live.
I wish it was going on.
We probably would have told you not to take him.
I would say I didn't take him, but I think he's still around in that league. But I'm just curious to see: are we going to see the kind of the Kelce we saw last year? Not as many catches, not as many yards, didn't look as explosive because he's getting old. I mean, he's been around the league for almost a decade, if not longer. I'm curious if we're going to see like a rejuvenation in him. Is this
I don't know.
Is proposing brought us back a 28-year-old Travis Kelce, or is it made him 50-year-old Travis Kelce, and we're going to see a guy moving around like cement?
Honestly, part of me feels like that this. I don't know. This could be me reading between the lines, but it feels like with me that. Yes, I get that he proposed to Taylor Swift. I feel like they're good. That was expected.
Right.
But from a football standpoint and career standpoint, I'm wondering if this is him also acknowledging that I'm at the end of my career,
right.
And once I'm done with football, this is what I'm doing. Right. Is she's going to be my wife, and we're going to have a life together.
Right, and also. And the Chargers could potentially be a pretty good team. Justin Herbert's got a lot to prove. They added a lot offensively, especially at the running back position. Defense has got some things to clean up. They added there. This is a pretty big game for them. I think it's more. I think they will be a little bit more motivated than what Kansas City is. Kansas City's gone to 3 straight Super Bowls. Still got a good defense, but you still got the core of that team back, but the core of that team continues to get older.
Yep.
And the problem is,
and you're taking them into a different country on top of that.
Well, I just remember watching The Last Dance back over the COVID-19 pandemic and thinking, just watching it, and after the 3-peat, that core was just so drained. Yeah. I'm wondering when we're going to start seeing that from the Chiefs. That like it's almost a chore to go out there every day. And I thought we would see it last year. I think we started seeing it. I'm not saying that I think Kansas City's going to be bad this year, but I think we're probably going to start seeing them take a step back.
Yeah. At some point, they have to.
At some point, they have to. And the thing, you also look at what's going on. You make a good point to where that core, yes, it's still there, but they keep getting older. Mm-hmm. Look at how they've drafted. There's really not. Yeah, they've got good players, but it's not like you're restocking the way that you probably wouldn't want to restock.
Yeah, right.
And so it almost seems like the dynasty. I'm not saying it's over by any stretch, but you feel like it's losing steam, and you're getting towards the end of the road, and it's a lot harder to keep that going in the NFL than college. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you saw what Nick Saban did at Alabama. That was one of the best dynasties. You saw what the Bear Bryant did. You saw what Bobby Bowden did at Florida State, and it's just a different animal when you have the NFL. And it's just like you get a good group of guys, a dynasty is built, you keep that core, and then that core slowly gets older and older and older, and you just run out of steam. And it just seems like we're getting to that point. I wouldn't be shocked. I'll say this: I wouldn't be shocked to see the Chargers, I'm not going to say they obliterate the Chiefs, but I would not be shocked to see the Chargers make
I don't think anyone would.
And see,
I think they'll make a statement. I'll say that.
That's what's been so hard for Kansas City over the past half decade is they're always in the Super Bowl or the conference championship every weekend. And where does that have you picking? 28-32.
Right.
Okay, so they're not going to be able to pick up all this top end talent because where do they get Mahomes at? What, 10, something like that? You're not going to be able to get typically a generational style quarterback or maybe the next great receiver, the next great running back at that spot, because typically these next generation guys are gone in the first 10 picks.
They are. And on top of that, think of this. If they're wanting to trade up to get one of those top picks, well, guess what those teams are going to probably ask for?
Hey, give me one of those. Give me your
one
wide receiver too.
Give me one of your give me one of your best players. And they're like, well, we can't because we need him. Yeah. But at the same time, we need someone to restock for the future, and you can't get that.
Right, absolutely. Well, guys, coming up next here, we're going to go into week number 2 of the college football season. That'll be when we return here on Exports Today.
For decades, First Class Charter has provided high-quality motor coach transportation services to the Tennessee Valley. With numerous safety and cleanliness accreditations, First Class Charter is ready to make your group trip a reality. Contact us today by visiting firstclasscharter.net. First Class Charter, the official motor coach company of the North Alabama Lions.
Flooring sets the tone throughout your home.
For flooring that makes the right first impression, start by choosing us, Floored by Justin.
A one-stop flooring destination. Our new location stands alone for unequaled customer service and selection. Owner Justin Story's mastery of custom hardwood inlays means every room can have a custom look. Discover how the right choice of hardwood, laminate, carpet, or tile can set the tone in your home. Contact Floored by Justin today.
The Summit of Lawrenceburg is the premier senior and assisted living community in the region. The Summit makes it home for you or your loved one with diverse suites that welcome and encourage community, plus gathering spaces, neighborhoods, daily activities, and a wonderful staff that supports you every day.
Hi, I'm Tara Blue. I'm the new director of the Summit, and we would like to invite you and your family to come and tour our facility. We would love to see you here.
There's no job too big or too small for Gonzalez Lawn and Landscapes. Owner Chris Gonzalez works hard to make your commercial or residential properties one of the neighbors will envy. You won't find a lower price anywhere else, and that's a guarantee. We offer mowing, landscape removal, small construction jobs, and more. Our team is licensed and insured to ensure the best work for Lawrence County and surrounding areas. Your satisfaction is our goal. We won't leave until you're happy. Call today to set up a free quote.
Make your property rock and roll with services from G&S Excavating, specializing in white sand, compost, mulch, topsoil, landscape gravel, and steel landscape edging. Turn to the pros who know how to make your project shine with years of experience. The best part is they're locally owned and operated. Choose from a vast selection of mulch and rock from their conveniently located facility at number 3 Valley Road in Lawrenceburg, just off Buffalo Road. Phone 931-279-3841 and get started today.
Hey, this is Phil Hooper. Get the look you want for your favorite school, church, or business with apparel from HD Ink Screen Printing in Leoma, Tennessee. Got a logo you need embroidered or screen printed? Let HD Ink give you the professional look that sets the bar in today's world. We do fundraisers and custom designed apparel and so much more. Call today, 931-201-2961, or come see us at our new shop located at 26 Ingram Road in Leoma. Remember, HD Ink for the look you want and the look you deserve.
A moment in real estate with my dad, Jeff Luke.
You know, I get asked a lot about what the market's going to do. How's the real estate market? I've been selling real estate for a long time, and nobody has a crystal ball. And you know what? When it's your time to buy or your time to sell, it really doesn't matter what the market's doing. It's your time, and you have to do something maybe. What makes a difference is the agents and the experience that go to work for you. We're Keller Williams Hood Company, located here in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. We can help.
Hood Company, powered by Keller Williams, the #1 name in real estate.
There's a reason owners Tyler and Cindy McDowell chose the name In Service for their towing business. They did because it's their goal to be in service for you on the day that you need them the most. In-service towing is now known far and wide for their response time because minutes matter when you're broken down. Or their 24/7 availability, you can call them anytime for service. Their professional team with years of experience and their fairness, plus their know-how in dealing with the unexpected. But the thing that In-Service is known best for is how they treat their customers, and that's like family. When you need them, call them 931-843-9098.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Good here with Taylor Plott and Michael Marks. Guys, we're going to get into week number 2 of the college football season. The big one, it's hard to kind of come back down to earth after week 1, but the big one that we have in week number 2, SEC Big Ten, Michigan visiting Oklahoma. 2 teams. We had a lot of teams last week, a lot of question marks. I think this is the same with this week. 2 teams with a lot of big question marks and a lot to prove, and the whole country is going to be watching. 6:30 our time on Saturday night.
Yeah, it's a big one. I mean, you got 2 sort of unproven quarterbacks, at least in the situation that they've been in. With Bryce Underwood obviously being a true freshman quarterback at Michigan, and John Mateer being, I think he's a redshirt junior there at Oklahoma. But it's guys that haven't really gotten their shot yet and are starting to get that look. Bryce Underwood from Michigan looked great last Saturday against New Mexico. He threw for more than 250 yards, something that Michigan didn't have last year. The last time they saw that was week 8 of the 2024 season. So they got, a guy that can complete a forward pass now. And Oklahoma, I mean, their offense looks like a completely revamped. I mean, they had, I think, at one point 7 or 8 of their scholarship wide receivers out last year. Yep. This year, you got a new quarterback, you got new wide receivers, you got new running backs who only play, Jaden Ott only played 3 snaps on Saturday. I hope we see a lot more of him, but obviously banged up. But Oklahoma's passing game looked awesome, and if they can keep that up, I'm interested to see that matchup between Michigan's secondary and Oklahoma's wide receivers. But I think right now the Sooners have a slight edge.
Yeah. I fully remember those wide receivers being out last year, and guess what the backups did?
They ran right
all over Alabama. So I really truly believe that this is going to be finally a resurgence of Oklahoma. Brent Venables, I believe, is going to be able to do what he really wanted to do this year as opposed to last year. You do look at the stuff that they had last year, and yes, they did have a lot of injuries, and you felt like that definitely kind of played a role in them maybe not getting a couple more wins than you thought that they might have been able to have. But they look really good right now, and just like I said the other day, Oklahoma, obviously they always have Texas circled on their schedule. This is the one that they really have circled because this is going to be able to hopefully be a statement win that they can mark down. And I don't really know what to think about Michigan. I know that they have a good team, and obviously freshman quarterback, everything like that, there's a lot of question marks on how Michigan will actually look by the time we get to the end of the year. I wouldn't be shocked if you look up at halftime and that score ends up being like 27 to like 3 or 10 in favor of Oklahoma.
Yeah, because Michigan's offensive line or defensive line, had some problems getting pushed around by New Mexico, and that should not be a problem that Michigan has. So if something doesn't change, between week 1 and week 2, which is when we see teams grow a lot, Oklahoma's defense is going to eat them alive.
I think so, and I wouldn't be shocked if this just ends up being a blowout in favor of Oklahoma. But I do think that they have this game circled, and this is going to end up being a potential statement win early in the season. Say, hey, look, we are a possible contender here.
Big time.
Let's go to the early game. Slate's 11, big one. Iowa and Iowa State. Iowa State's had 2 decent wins to start off the year. Don't know much about Iowa. They're still trying to prove everybody they can throw the ball down the field.
Do they actually have an offense?
I don't know, but Iowa State's rolling right now, guys, and this could be the year. This is always a close, low-scoring game, but this could be the year that Iowa State it's at home, it's in Ames, could be the year that they really put it on.
Well, funny enough, Iowa State has lost the last 6 games in this series at home. Now, they've won 2 of the last 3, but the road team tends to favor better in this one, but it just, from what I've seen so far, and I've seen Iowa State twice, I watched a little bit of Iowa's game last Saturday, It just looks like Iowa State has. Well, I watched until I fell asleep. And I'm not joking. That game actually put me to sleep. But Iowa State just looks more comfortable on both sides of the ball. Iowa, they played Albany, and they had a bit of a tough time. I mean, they ran the ball excellently. They only threw the ball like 12 times the entire game. And I just don't think they'll have enough to keep up with Iowa State because they get the big upset in week 1 over Kansas State, and then they backed it up week 2 against a really good FCS team. I think they're ready to put it on a field and finally win one at home in this big matchup.
I think so, too. I mean, going back, you know that there's been really, really good Iowa State teams over the past 10 years or so, 10-ish years, and they always look really, really good, and then there's like a game or a couple games where they just either play down to their opponent or they just end up shooting themselves in the foot, and they lose, and now all of a sudden you're out of the top 10, and now you'd be like out of the playoff contention. I am questionable on Iowa. One, do they actually have an offense where they're going to be able to score more than 21 points? Their defense, we'll see what happens with that. They usually have a pretty good defense. I'm kind of with you, AJ, with thinking that this could be the game where Iowa State ends up kind of punching Iowa instead of just them trading punches, and this ends up being like a 17-10 game.
Well, the over/under set at 41.5, so Vegas does not.
Iowa State's 3.5-point favorites.
Yeah,
so,
Vegas does not see a lot of scoring in this one.
What do they know?
What do they know? But I am behind this Iowa State team. I feel like this one probably is their best chance they've had in a while.
Right.
And with the 12-team playoffs, it's a little bit easier to get in, obviously, so we'll see.
And Rocco Beck has not had the sophomore slump that a lot of people saw coming from him. He's been really impressive this year.
Illinois at Duke. This is an Illini team with a lot to prove. Duke, a lot of unknowns, but they got a pretty stacked offense. And Wallace Wade Stadium is now turning into a place where top 10 teams go to die.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to be a tough game for them.
We saw Duke last year with the Texas transfer quarterback, Murphy. They almost took down SMU, and they shot themselves in the foot in the process.
It was Clemson 2 years ago.
They beat Clemson week 1. With Riley Leonard. I mean, this Duke team, Darian Mensah looked really, really good last week. And now, given it wasn't a great team in Elon, but he threw for almost 400 yards. I mean, he looked worth every bit of that $4 million. But it's an interesting coaching matchup because it's Manny Diaz, who has spent his time in Miami. Had give or take some success there, but it feels like he's gotten a second life at Duke.
Yep.
And same thing with Brett Bielema. He kind of, he had the great start at Wisconsin, went to Arkansas, kind of fell off there, but has come back to life at Illinois. Which program is in a better spot right now? I think it's Illinois, but this is a big one.
Right.
This is a big one, and I feel like this, if Illinois wants to have a chance at really contending in the Big Ten,
they can't lose this.
They can't lose this. I know people will be like, well, they're in completely different conferences. Like, that doesn't matter. It still goes to your record, but still, what happens if you lose to Duke? I don't know who Illinois has next week, but who knows, they might have a slump in the Big Ten. I think they have a Big Ten game next week. He's
Western Michigan.
Okay, so it's
but then after that, Indiana
is Indiana.
They got a directional.
Yeah, and so I really think that this is one that Illinois needs to win to continue to prove that Brett Bielema is the right spot or is in the right spot, which I do feel he is. But this Illinois team is someone to contend with. Now Duke, on the other hand, you flip the table and you could say that this is a big one that they have circled because this can now only say, look. People talk about what Florida State did to Alabama. They're talking about them in contention, Miami in contention. Hey, hold up a second.
Imagine if Duke throws their name in there. Yeah. I mean, there are really like 6 or 7 teams right now that could win the ACC.
Yeah.
Yep.
And big one in Texas, guys. Baylor's at SMU. I think Baylor's got a lot to prove after Auburn kind of handled them pretty well. And for SMU, this is an in-state, not really an old Southwest Conference rival. They haven't played in a while, but when you're talking about, okay, Auburn just beat this bunch. If we're trying to make our case as one of the best teams in the country, if we beat them, we've got to beat them in some sort of a convincing way in the minds of the voters, in the minds of the committee, that we are doing good things over here in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Kevin Jennings back obviously was huge for Rhett Lashley in that SMU offense, but they haven't really ran the ball much. They have like a tandem of backs that they ran last week, but this is the first big opponent they're playing, and this is their first game kind of post what happened to them in the playoffs. I'm curious if they can kind of keep that, if they keep the same energy that they had last year during the regular season, was kind of just mowing through everybody, or if they're going to, remember the ACC championship where they were that close to Clemson, or the playoff where they just got completely smoked by Penn State. I'm curious what SMU team we see against another Power 4 opponent.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. Going back and watching that, think about that Baylor-Auburn matchup. Auburn they basically did whatever they wanted against Baylor. And, Baylor, they did have some fight. They tried to make it a game, but Auburn just ended up pulling away. I honestly don't know what to think about Baylor. I felt like that they had a really good chance at beating Auburn, one, because they had that game at home. But I honestly felt like that they had like a good group of guys, but they just got handled by them on week one. I don't know. I mean, I feel like this is almost like a must-win for Baylor, but at the same point, what is this SMU team?
Yeah, and for Baylor, Sawyer Robertson was phenomenal week one. I mean, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. But they're going to have to be able to control the line of scrimmage. That's really where you're going to get your gain, because, I mean, we know Baylor's going to have a great passing attack. But I'm also curious about their defense, because Dave Aranda was the defensive coordinator at LSU in the 2019 season when they went off, won the national championship. But we really haven't seen one of Dave Aranda's Baylor teams have that level of defense. I'm wondering if this is the year where they finally get a decent look on defense, because while Baylor's 0-1, I don't think that loss to Auburn was very bad.
It's going to be a pretty good test there on Saturday. Midday slate, big one, Oklahoma State at Oregon. And both these teams, Oregon looked pretty good week one against the defending FCS runners-up. Oklahoma State kind of struggled a little bit in their games, but you just never know with Mike Gundy's squad on the road, but that's probably one of the toughest places in the country to go.
Yeah. Did I see right that Mike Gundy lifted his shirt up to show that he didn't have a nipple piercing?
He did.
That was Mike Gundy-esque. That was, yeah.
I wonder. So I'm guessing. I'm guessing
the joys of covering Gundy.
I'm guessing he didn't see that was photoshopped. But
quick comment on that. I was honestly shocked to see that it was photoshopped, because it was
good.
It was really good.
It looked really real.
It was really real. I was thinking, Ryan Day, what has happened? We have a midlife crisis here. What is going on?
Wins the championship and starts piercing things.
Yeah, really. That's. This is going to be an interesting one for Oklahoma State, because you're right, AJ. What are you going to get with Mike Gundy? It's kind of. It can be somewhat hit or miss, especially on road games, and I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch the Oklahoma State games, so I hadn't really seen what they look like, but that's usually what's always on my mind is like, what is this Mike Gundy team going to look like?
They were pretty amped up about Haas Hingie coming into the year. Their quarterback got hurt, so it's Zane Flores' team now. They didn't look too great against UT Martin last week, which isn't a great indicator. And it kind of seems like Dan Lanning's got a little swagger about him. I saw him in press conferences this week where he's kind of
feeling pretty good.
He's feeling good about himself,
like he did about last year.
Yeah, and I'm all in on this Oregon team this year. I think they're going to be great. I was obviously, like y'all, a little cautious coming into the year. New quarterback, you don't know how that's going to work out, but they went out and they handled a really good Montana State team week one. And, last year they went out and kind of had a dud against Idaho. So it shows that they're making improvements against these other teams. And while this is, a Power 4 matchup, I think Oregon's just going to overpower them.
Yeah, I can see that. You're right. Lanning does have that kind of swagger about himself. It's like, all right, well, he obviously knows that he's got another really good team. So obviously I would think Oregon's going to be able to handle Oklahoma State, but again, you just go back, with Oklahoma State struggling in that first game, so you would anticipate that they will probably struggle against Oregon, but still, you got Mike Gundy at the helm, and there's games where Oklahoma State's just having a down year.
He can make weird stuff happen.
He can make weird stuff happen. There's been a lot of Oklahoma State years where they go like 6-6 or like 7-5.
And they have 2 or 3 ranked wins.
Yeah, and they have, and on the road too sometimes.
Yep. So Let's go to some of the nightcap games because that's really the only significant, 2:30 game. How about Vandy, Virginia Tech? I think Vanderbilt, that's kind of where their season got going a year ago, was that big win at home against Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
And Virginia Tech, who me and Mike kind of think were winning that game, except for the scoreboard against South Carolina.
Well, if they had one of us three and not Kyron Jones at quarterback, I'm pretty sure it would have been closer than the 13 points.
If it wasn't for Kyron Jones, Marshall wouldn't have beat him a couple of years ago.
Everybody hypes him up about being this great quarterback, and man, he's put his team in some tough situations.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
I think it's an interesting sentiment because you're sending an SEC team on the road against a team that Vanderbilt is probably more talented top to bottom than Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
But that crowd's going to have an impact, and I think that may be a 7 to 10 point swing in advantage of Virginia Tech. Will Pavia and that offense be able to kind of calm things down when it gets loud? And because I would assume Virginia Tech, if they win the toss, they're probably going to want the ball first. They're probably going to score on the first drive.
Yeah.
Can Vanderbilt answer? Because if you get the ball back, go 3 and out, you can almost chalk that one up.
If there's one thing that we've learned about Vandy over the past several years is if they have a good quarterback and they at least have a decent offense around that good quarterback,
he looks good.
They look good and they're a threat to deal with, especially if they can actually have a decent defense. And looking at this Vandy team, correct me if I'm wrong, but they have a good amount coming back from last year.
Most of the people.
And yes, this would be another statement win for Vandy to be like, yep, we're back again this year.
Yeah.
And on the Virginia Tech side, you're kind of reeling from that game where, you felt like you were in control of that game, and then all hell just broke loose, and you end up losing. So they're going to be itching for a win, but is there a little bit of a letdown because of that week one, and then Vandy just comes in there trying to prove themselves again, and Pavia just destroys them.
Because he looked really good last week, but it was Charleston Southern. So
And the only other game to really of note, even we've got Boston College and Michigan State, again, two teams we really just don't know a lot about right now. Stanford at BYU, I think we think BYU is pretty much going to win that one kind of handily. But
Stanford lost to Hawaii.
Arizona State and Mississippi State. You got the defending Big 12 champs with a lot of questions. Mississippi State.
This one's really been intriguing me throughout the week.
It's really interesting to see where this one's going to go on Saturday.
Because we've seen Kenny Dillingham, he has his trainers and other people like that walking around with cowbells during practice, which obviously isn't going to work. He's going around in press conferences saying there's no hotels in Starkville that aren't casinos, which isn't true because casinos in Mississippi have to be on a reservation. Starkville isn't really close to any of them.
Nope.
I do like him poking.
But,
that's so funny.
It's funny because, all you hear about Starkville probably in Arizona is that it's the middle of nowhere and you got to find a hotel in Jackson that would be anywhere close.
Or Columbus.
I've been there. It's not
fun. But it's, there's hotels in Starkville, not many.
Oh, yeah.
But I think it's funny, poking the bear, because obviously they're the big dog coming into this game.
Yeah.
I think they're going to get a lot out of Mississippi State, and I'm just excited to be home and watch this one. I get the Michigan-Oklahoma game's a big one of the night, but until it maybe gets ugly, I'm going to keep it on the Sun Devils and the Bulldogs.
I'm with you.
I'm very intrigued with this one too, and I know we've kind of I've at least circled ones where I feel like this is like a must-win for these teams. This is a must-win for Mississippi State.
Yes.
Because you're coming off of a season where we already talked about it, your Mike Leach's death and everything. You just felt like that was just a very somber type of season that they went through. Now you feel like, okay, you had to get a new head coach. This is kind of his second year, right? Second year. And you still got a good group of guys.
Yeah.
And they look pretty good on that week one matchup. So if they can come out and actually, I'll say this, if they come out and obviously make a statement and win, that's the best case scenario. But if they come out and they can compete and this ends up being an Arizona State win by like 3 points or a touchdown or something, make it close, I still consider that a win for Mississippi State because you can finally tell it's like, all right, we do have the talent to compete with some of these teams. We just have to have a couple things go our way.
And they played the portal really smart this year. They took those guys that were, maybe the backup linebacker at Vanderbilt. And we're like, hey, you're pretty good. You're not getting as many snaps as you want. Come down here.
Yeah.
So they did a really good job kind of pulling from other SEC teams, the backups that weren't getting as much time, and they've made a pretty competent team out of them.
Yeah.
All right, well, coming up next, guys, we'll take a look at week number 1 of the NFL on Sunday and Monday when we return here on Exports Today.
Jack Davis Insurance, located at 201 West Gain Street in Lawrenceburg, has you covered through life's obstacles. Jack Davis specializes in group insurance for businesses and institutions of all sizes, with coverage for life, accidents, cancer, critical illness, short-term disability, dental, and vision. Jack Davis can customize a plan to meet every need. Now available Medicare plans for seniors. Contact Paige Davis at 931-492-9284 today for Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, and prescription drug plan insurance. Serving Lawrence and surrounding counties since 1987, call the team at Jack Davis Insurance today at 931-242-5225. Are you looking for the perfect refrigerator? What about a new stove or washer or dryer? It only makes sense to shop at the one place that specializes in appliances, top to bottom, big or small. And that's Kelly Appliance in Lawrenceburg. Kelly Appliance is home to all major name brands, including LG. LG makes life good with a full selection of refrigerators, cooking appliances, dishwashers, microwaves, and more, including appliances made right here in Tennessee. Family owned and family operated. Stop by Kelly Appliance on Jerry Street in Lawrenceburg today.
At Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, we're proud to be locally owned and operated because we're not just a bank, we're family. When you call, you'll be greeted by a friendly representative who's ready to discuss your banking needs, as well as offer our competitive rates on CDs and money market accounts. Our loan decisions are made in-house and never sold to a secondary market because our commitment is simple. You matter to us. At Lawrenceburg Federal, we offer all the conveniences of larger banks with a personal touch. Join us at Lawrenceburg Federal Bank, where community, trust, and service come together.
Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is your premier source for hardwood, laminate, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, residential and commercial carpet, carpet tiles, ceramic and porcelain tile, waterproof floating floor, plus blinds and shutters. Lawrenceburg Flooring and More is also home to all name brands and can tackle projects big and small. Installation? You're covered with installers who've got years of experience and stand behind their work. Let Lawrenceburg Flooring and More make your design dreams a reality. 2760 Highway 43 North, or visit LawrenceburgFlooringandMore.com.
LUS is committed to our customers, from providing and maintaining energy-efficient utility services to friendly, helpful customer service. LUS is there. At LUS, we're always challenging everything we know, every day. We strive to improve efficiency and reliability while focusing on our responsibility to our customers and the community. It's our promise to provide dependable service to our customers every time, because we don't just work in Lawrence County, we live here too.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Good here with Michael Marks and Taylor Plott. Guys, we're getting into week one of the NFL season. We already talked about the Thursday night games. Taylor, we're going to have a little fun. I gave these guys a quiz the other night. I'm just going to give you the list of games.
All right.
And you got to figure out which one is, according to StubHub, the cheapest one to get into.
Okay.
So the two, well, they don't have one for the Brazil games, so obviously it's in Brazil. But Dallas and Philly, it's $377 to get into tonight. So these are the Sunday and Monday games. Tampa at Atlanta, Cincinnati at Cleveland, Miami and Indianapolis, Las Vegas at New England, Arizona at New Orleans, Pittsburgh at New York, the Giants at the Commanders, Carolina at Jacksonville, Tennessee at Denver, San Francisco at Seattle, Detroit at Green Bay, Houston at Los Angeles, Baltimore at Buffalo, Minnesota at Chicago. What do you think, according to StubHub, is the cheapest one to get into?
Carolina at Jacksonville.
That is $65. That's not the cheapest.
It's not the cheapest.
No. That's actually kind of middle. Well,
Is it middle ground-ish?
Lower middle.
Yeah. Lower middle.
Lower middle. It's, yeah.
The other one would be who is Las Vegas playing?
They are at New England.
Why do I have a sneaking suspicion that ends up being low?
It's 160.
Okay,
I would say that's
okay.
one of the higher ones.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about that because I know that both weak teams right now. Oh, jeez. Give me a hint.
They're in the same conference, but not the same division.
East or west?
South and west.
South and west.
The west is at the south.
Is it the Cardinals game?
Yes.
Really?
$29 to get in.
And who are they playing again?
The Saints.
The Saints?
Wow. The second cheapest is Houston at the Rams. It's $44.
It's really easy to get into the LA stadium.
Yeah.
But I just think that nobody cares for the NFL out there because those tickets are cheap every week.
And you got two teams out there.
And don't get me on this rant, but they should have never left St. Louis.
No.
Should have never left St. Louis.
Never. The next cheapest is Miami and Indianapolis. It's $57. Carolina, Jacksonville, $65. Tampa and Atlanta is $82. Cincinnati at Cleveland is $99, and everything is $110 or way north of that.
Yeah.
So again, the hardest one to get into is
Green Bay. Oh,
no,
I figured Green Bay would be hard.
Green Bay's $256, and the Chicago game's $233. But if you're in New Orleans, they're basically begging you to go to this game. But which one of those games, guys, kind of intrigues you? We got a lot of division conference matchups here in Week 1.
I'm going to go with one that may not have too much playoff implications, but I'm going to go with that game Monday night, Vikings and Bears. It's a teams that have
playoff.
It could, but it's teams with a lot of new. With the Vikings, new quarterback. I don't know if the J.J. McCarthy thing just didn't work out. Carson Wentz is there now, but for the Bears, it's really interesting. They had a really good draft. They brought in Ben Johnson, and that offense has got a ton of weapons. I mean, you got Caleb Williams coming back for year number 2. You went and drafted Colston Loveland, the tight end out of Michigan. You got Roma Dunze and Luther Burden, wide receivers out of the last 2 drafts. You still got DJ Moore. This Bears team has a lot of weapons on offense. I'm intrigued to see if it can get going because there were times last year where that thing would just stall.
Right.
And I just think that they have too many weapons now, and especially with a great offensive mind like Ben Johnson. I think it's almost too good to fail. I'm just kind of curious to see what happens.
I've got just like a couple that I want to keep my eye on. One, I want to see how the Falcons look because I feel like that they've tried and they have been taking a step or two in the right direction, but they just need that season that's just, all right, here it is. It's all set in motion, and you're actually looking pretty good.
Baker Mayfield week 1, dude, is another guy.
It's another guy. He is. It's another guy. The other one, and actually was the one that I thought that might have been the cheapest one, is Carolina and Jacksonville. With a Carolina aspect where you have Bryce Young at quarterback, and you feel like you've gotten a couple more pieces around him.
Right.
And just see how things look in that first game of the season.
And Trevor Lawrence.
Well, I was about to say it's two quarterbacks that are they need to prove it this year, but they both got new weapons. Obviously the Panthers, they got Ted McMillan out of Arizona, who is, he's like a Larry Fitzgerald kind of guy. He's big, physical, doesn't drop a lot of passes. And the Jaguars, I assume Travis Hunter's probably going to start at wide receiver, so I think he'll probably have a big game.
I'm liking Detroit and Green Bay. That's a divisional matchup. Detroit's got a lot to prove after kind of the letdown a year ago.
But we get to see if the Packers are actually good because everybody's telling us they're good again.
Yeah. And even though we don't know how they're going to be good.
But they say they are.
They say they are. They certainly took Philly to the brink last year in the playoffs. But that's intriguing because that's a division matchup. That's a way you can get a leg up if Detroit's going to prove that they are without a Ben Johnson. They lost both coordinators in the offseason. You lose both of them. Your personnel's pretty much the same. I do think they made some improvements in some areas, but you're sitting here, you're having to replace both coordinators. You're having to go on the road to one of your most hated rivals. How do you prove that you're
And see, I would say losing coordinators would hurt most teams, but we saw with I lost my train of thought with Cincinnati last year.
Yeah.
They lost their offensive coordinator, went to the Titans, Brian Callahan, to be the head coach, and they had probably their best offensive year
it took them a little bit. That start was not great.
I would say it was rough, but by the middle of the season, I mean, that was a well-oiled machine, and Joe Burrow looks like the best quarterback in the NFL.
Yep.
But I mean, this is Dan Campbell's team now, and you know, whether and they have the talent now. Right. You know, when he got there, it was just Dan Campbell's team, and we got a couple of dudes. Yeah. Now they got a lot of them.
Yeah. And speaking of, they're at Cleveland, and the Bengals and the Browns they're at what are the? I mean, I kind of feel like with them, like we feel like a college team. What are we walking into? I mean, I think we know what the Bengals have.
Right.
They pretty much re-signed that entire team. We know what Cincinnati has going into Cleveland. We don't know what Cleveland has.
Yeah,
at all. We don't know what we're walking into.
Yeah,
because obviously, I mean, we know Joe Flacco's the quarterback, but that's about it. Who's going to be your running backs? Because obviously, we saw Quinshon Judkins, the guy from Ohio State, have some legal problems. So it looks like Dylan Sampson and Jerome Ford are their guys, and then at wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy.
I mean, he had an okay year.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's your wide receiver one right there.
Yeah, and nothing against Jerry Jeudy, because when he was at Alabama, he was and even his first couple years with the Broncos was really impressive. But he's not an NFL wide receiver one. He should not be an NFL wide receiver one.
Yeah,
that's just
And the big one, Baltimore Buffalo. I think that of all the games this week, that's the one that's going to have the most kind of implications as much as you can in a week one game.
Yeah, and I love having that one Sunday Night Football because everyone's going to have their eyes on it. It's Lamar versus Josh Allen. Can the Ravens take that step on offense? Do the Bills have enough on defense?
His own Josh Allen.
Yeah, I'd say what do we got here? I mean, the Bills do have I saw yesterday they have the most expensive alcohol in the NFL. It's an $11.50 for a beer.
What was the hot dogs?
No, it was a hot dogs. That's what it was. It was like an $11 hot dog.
Oh, jeez.
That thing
better be good.
Better be a Chicago dog at that point.
I was about to make something people are going to meme really bad, so I stopped myself in the process of it. But that would be the best hot dogs.
I have nothing after that.
Yeah. I was like, I should have brought that up.
I'm so sorry. My mind went to a bad place right there. Well, guys, do it for our football preview. So we'll see you Monday. We'll recap college football and the NFL. At 1:30, we'll have our high school football preview. Mike and I will get you ready for week number 3 of the high school football season. A lot of good matchups going down. We got some cowbells up for grabs, all the fun things. So that for Taylor Plott, Michael Marks, I'm AJ Good. We will see you guys on Monday.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports